We're going back. Is stealing okay? Yeah, I mean, potentially.
We've justified it because...
But Walmart, there's no little old lady in the wall.
There's little ladies at Walmart all the time.
They're everywhere.
They're wearing spandex.
All right, so there's another little old lady, and I've used the shotgun that I've gotten off the shelf and the shelves to save the little old lady.
I love it.
And I'll take it with. I'm taking the shotgun
Absolutely.
with me. I've earned the shotgun. So we're in a city, okay? Picture this.
Do we have to be in the city?
I know. I hate cities.
We're in the city.
I hate cities. But you're in a city, okay? You have flown to this city for a business meeting. You're a big deal, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, like you're a big deal. You make things happen.
Can we be ourselves, or are we actually...
No, you're somebody else.
We're somebody else?
Yeah, like
okay.
you're a corporate executive.
Oh my God.
Corporate executive. You have flown to this city. You have carried on only, okay? You don't have a checked bag.
No check bag.
So whatever you can get away with getting onto the plane is all that you have.
Am I a prepared-minded person?
Yeah, I would say so.
Case?
Yeah, you've got some skills.
So, like maybe I have on my Wazoo cash belt with the 23-piece adventure kit.
Yeah, as long as that goes with your suit. I'm just saying.
It will go with my suit.
As long as the black belt matches your black shoes when you're not committing fashion crimes.
It's beautiful. Okay. All right, at least I have that. All right, I'm glad I got that out.
All right, so you have flown across the country to some city. Let's call it Chicago. Chicago, where the Bears play. So you're in Chicago, and you are on your way to a meeting. You're in an Uber. Okay.
I'm in an Uber.
Yeah, you've got a ride from the airport.
Okay.
You're hightailing it. You're going to be late to this meeting. If you don't get there you're going to hustle.
So I've got my phone.
You got your phone. You got your suit on. You've got one small carry-on bag, right, with some miscellaneous stuff.
Can I have on the John Wick suit that's bulletproof?
No, that's illegal.
No, illegal.
You can't
I don't have any weapons.
No bulletproof suits. No weapons of any kind.
No knife.
No knife. No, none of the stuff that you'd like to normally have on you.
In the city,
no
too.
Firearms, none of that. Yes, you're in the city.
This is why we're not living in the city.
You're stuck in gridlock traffic right now. You're buildings everywhere, big buildings, skyscrapers and such, right? You're in gridlock traffic. You're just trying to inch your way through, and you're like, oh gosh, man, I got to get to this meeting. It's like, big wigs.
Is my driver chatty?
Yes.
Is it like Mel Gibson in Conspiracy?
Yes,
right?
definitely. Yes, 100%. Anyway, and then suddenly, all of the lights on the dash of the vehicle that you're in come to a stop. Everything, all the lights go out. All the cars next to you stop. All of the street lights that possibly were on went out. Everything goes black. Everything comes to a halt, and you got a whole bunch of people going like this.
Oh my God! What just happened?
Yeah, what's going on? What do you do?
All right, so the very first thing that came to my mind when you said that is I'm going to be trying to identify what happened, because you're saying that the car stopped and the whole entire grid is down.
Everything to your knowledge has gone.
Because if we're in a city, the street lamps went out as well.
They're out.
Pitch black.
All electricity, to your knowledge, gone.
And everybody.
Your cell phone, you pull out your cell phone, you're like, hey, what the heck? Doesn't work. Nothing.
I got nothing. I got no comms.
Zero.
Whatsoever.
You got no radios on you. You got none of that stuff.
Unfamiliar territory too, because I'm in transit to a known location.
You've been to this city maybe, but you don't live there. You got no really family or anything there.
Okay, I always preach this, in videos. I know you do the exact same thing. It's so important to calm yourself down when that happens. So my first initial thought is I've got to stop. I've got to think. I've got to observe what's around me, and I've got to make a plan. But the first few moments of an emergency statistically are proven. The first few decisions that you make are going to greatly affect the outcome of that
of the rest
scenario.
Of the experience.
So you're going to have to think on the fly super fast,
right?
Which you would have to pull from your experiences in order to act. I'm not going to say react, but to act on previous experience.
Let's say you're an experienced outdoorsman, like you're a wealthy business executive.
I've gone on safari.
You've been on big hunts.
Got all of the stuffed animals on my wall.
Yeah, exactly. You've killed many things.
Right?
Yeah, let's say you've done that. You've got some outdoor experience. You're a hiker, avid outdoorsman. You go skiing in the alpine regions of the Alps, and you do the things.
I'm a physically fit dude.
You know how to start fires. You're fit. You gotta. You're the guy.
All right, so we have magically transported to another parallel universe where JJ and Jason are talking in another universe.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I like the seating thing anyway.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's good.
So yeah, let's zip back to the scenario, right? So we talked about stopping.
Hold on a second. I got distracted
Thinking
by a giant.
Whoa, bro. Golly, how could you not be distracted?
It's like a snake.
Golly.
Look at that.
Dude.
That's some good bait right there. Anyway,
Was
carry
that
on.
movie Tremors or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, with the underground worms that eat everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you threw that scenario at me, I mean, the first thing that I was thinking about is this like an EMP, like a nuclear war, right?
Yeah.
You know, it was a bomb set off overhead, terrorists hack into it. It would have to be an EMP.
But you don't know. You have no idea.
There's no way to know
why
for sure.
the power's out. You don't know why the cars have stopped. You don't know if it's a localized thing. You don't know if it's nationwide, worldwide. No one knows.
Now, my very first thing, a lot of people would say to bug in a situation like that. Not for me. I want to get away from that vehicle as fast as I can, because you said we were on the highway.
Crowded.
It is crowded.
Jam-packed.
Bumper to bumper traffic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought is to get off away from that car. I'm
Yeah.
leaving Mel Gibson in the front seat.
That's right. You're on your own
and
now.
I'm getting out of there, right. And
Everyone's starting to get out of their cars now because it's hot. Let's say,
Yep.
it's hot in the city. Everyone's starting to get out of the
yeah,
cars.
the air conditioning
AC
not running.
stopped
They
working.
can't roll down the windows.
People are getting out and they're like looking around, talking to one another, figuring out what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm booking it, number one.
Because
And-
how long do you think you have before people start freaking out?
Well, I can tell you from being in real life scenarios like that, it's almost instantaneous.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you aren't going to have very much time. There's going to be a small period of confusion where people are having to react.
Mm-hmm.
And most people are going to react. They're not going to act. Only people that are highly trained are going to act immediately because they're trained for it, right? So I think there's going to be a small confusion period where people are talking amongst themselves because they've gotten out of their cars. They're all, trying to ask each other what they think it is. There's going to be people in different stages of grief too.
Yeah.
People that are going to be freaking out.
Yeah.
Right. There's going to be people that are bargaining.
Yep.
Like it's going to be okay and all that. And then there's going to be people that are crying because
Yeah.
they didn't get to their business meeting.
Yep.
Or to meet their family or their
And you're going to
friends.
have people that are interested in taking advantage of a bad situation for their own benefit.
Yep. And I'm
Yeah.
also thinking about things, just things that I've seen in disaster scenes. We don't think about it all the time because we don't have this scenario happen all the time. But people go to the pharmacy every single day.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the doctor every single day. And so there's going to be a lot of people out there, statistically speaking, that need their life-saving medication, or they need their antipsychotics, or they need their, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be fed, some people are going to be hungry, some people are, like they were running out of fuel, for example. Maybe they're stressed out from a business meeting, they got in a fight with their wife.
Yep.
It's hard for people to shake off the stress of everyday life in a scenario like that.
It just amplifies
It just
everything.
amplifies everything.
Yeah. You're already pissed off and hot. You're late.
It becomes chaotic very soon. And then you also have the heroes
Yeah.
that come on scene.
Yeah.
Right, and they're ready to do whatever, help.
Sure.
Like leaders that are
The sheepdogs.
trying to take control of the scenario.
Yeah.
That's how they control it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
their
yeah.
defense mechanism.
Right.
Actually.
Yes. Problem solvers.
Mhm.
I like to think of myself as a problem solver.
Yep.
But in that situation, if I'm on my own and I don't have a family to look out for, I'm not trying to get to
We're
any.
by ourselves.
Yeah, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
My first instinct would be I need to get out of this city as quickly as possible.
fast as I can.
I need to get to at least the outskirts, the suburbs of this city as fast as I possibly can. And how can I achieve that? Walking, let's say I'm smart enough, I would be smart enough to have a pair of good shoes in my carry-on pack.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause
I
you
got
have your
business
carry-on
loafers on.
luggage.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
wearing my business loafers.
And both you and I do fly that way.
Yes.
I never check a bag.
Ever. I don't trust
Never.
people to carry my bags. I've had bags lost. I don't do it. I travel super light.
Plus,
and I
we
take-
watched Lost.
Yes.
Right. So
Stuff happens.
There's no
man.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
It's real.
I want to have exactly what I have in my
Yes.
pack. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's an advantage right there.
Yep.
So we
Put on
we
my
do
good
have that
walking
stuff.
shoes. I put on my Forrest Gump shoes and my magic shoes, and
You're flying, baby.
I beeline it. Hopefully, I have some sort of idea of which part of the city that I'm in. Right? Maybe I've got a map. Maybe I was smart enough to have a paper map, but probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. But maybe I've got some sort of idea of the fastest, most direct way out of the city.
Well, we would also have some frame of reference because we would have had to have come from the airport, right? So we're leaving a highly
Really congested area.
area. And so the direction of travel that we were going in, we're probably headed out of the most heavily populated.
Potentially.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. We're talking about Chicago. I don't know. Somebody in the comments could probably tell us what Chicago,
I've been to Chicago.
Airport looks like. I've been to Chicago, I think, but it's been a long time.
I'll tell you
I don't
something
remember.
that freaked me out about Chicago, and I've never had this in any other city.
Was it windy?
It was so windy.
The Windy City.
Right, the Windy City. But one thing that you don't think about is when I was there, I would watch everybody walking around. And, you know, the wind is so strong there, it'll pull the door right out of your hand, right? But you couldn't hear anybody talking because the wind was so strong.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think would be a tactical advantage in that particular scenario, because I was just sitting there thinking about it when you were talking. I was thinking, you know what, my head is down. I'm focused. I have a plan and I'm executing it, and I don't have time to answer questions from a homeboy.
Right.
Right? Like,
What's that you said? What? No.
No,
Just
I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you're, you know, around the homeless people and they're all crowding around you, you just keep on trucking.
Just go.
You know? Yeah, I'm not going to stop and try to help anybody in that scenario, because the first rule of survival in my world is the first responders don't get monkey butt.
Yeah.
If you can't take care of your own ass, you can't save somebody else's.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess looking at that situation, my goal would be to get out of there as quickly as I possibly can. If I came across a situation where a woman was being attacked,
there's a little girl,
then perhaps, you know,
I
would probably intervene in something like that.
Yes.
But other than things of that nature, you know, I would
call that extreme.
Yeah, that's a very extreme situation.
Very extreme scenario.
But other than that, guys fighting on the side of the road or something like that, there's no need for me to get in there and break up that fight. I have got no skin in that game.
There's another thing too. I'm thinking about weapons of opportunity as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here kind of playing this scenario out in my head. We don't have a weapon.
What would you pick up?
That's
what would you
I'm
find?
saying. Like, you're probably going to find rocks laying around here and there. A brick. Some kind of rebar or metal that's laying around. Something, you know, like...
Nothing says leave me alone like a man charging down the street with a brick in his hand.
Right, exactly.
Like, just leave me alone.
Like, this guy is serious.
Hey.
Yeah, because that's something to talk about right there. As far as, because we talk about it all the time in Gray Man, right? Like, you do not want to be the target.
Don't stand that. Yeah.
You cannot be the target.
Yeah.
So you have to handle yourself in a way where you're confident through that scenario too, because somebody who is a criminal or has that criminal mentality, they're going to be looking for opportunity.
Right.
You don't want to present
You're not
yourself,
going to be an opportunity.
I am not that opportunity.
Yeah, it's not that you want to pass the problem downstream to somebody else, but you kind of do. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, for example, if you put a gate on your driveway, chances are someone that wants to rob you is going to pass up that gated driveway and go to one that doesn't have a gate, because it's easier.
It's just easier.
The path of least resistance.
Unless
it's easier
the criminal
prey.
is an overachiever.
An overachiever likes to go for the hard targets. Yeah.
Right.
So just not looking like the easiest target.
Painting yourself as a target.
Right.
Now, you know, this is a scenario-based thing, and so we don't know what's going to be available. Like, I don't want to, I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to just duck into the very first store that I find that's open.
Right.
Right. I don't want to, but you are going to have to take breaks.
Yeah.
Right. Because this is a high stress scenario, high speed scenario, you know, because you're going to have to calm yourself down a little bit so that you can think, like, what is my next step? What's the avenue that I'm going to take now?
The first thing that I would do after I made the decision that I'm going to be leaving this place, I'm getting out of here as quickly as I possibly can. The first thing that I would do is I would load up on some food and some water. I would take
like
my
at
little,
a gas station,
anything
find
that
a map,
whatever little shop is on the side of the road.
calories,
Yeah, I would
some
pop in
water.
there. I've got cash on me always. In my cash belt,
Yes,
I keep cash.
me too.
Always.
We have our cash belt.
That's right. I got that. I would have cash, and I would walk in there, and I'd say, "Hey, I got cash money. I need this, 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 and this." And I'd grab the high-calorie stuff. I would grab the bottle of water.
The paydays.
I'd go for the payday.
I know you'd be going
that ain't
for the
that ain't no
paydays.
doubt. I'd grab all the paydays that they had. So and then I would gather up that stuff. I'd load up my little pack, and then I would beeline it out of the town. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the first thing I would do,
absolutely.
though, is I would load up on those two things. Before I'd get a weapon, before I do anything like that, I would think about food and water.
A lot of that would be possum mentality, like being able to understand what your needs are as far as priorities go, understanding the scenario, being able to make these decisions on the fly, and then seeing the opportunity present itself and taking advantage of it at the same time.
Yeah, if I didn't pass by a shop like that, chances are you probably will in the city like area. Well, what if that city or that shop was already getting ransacked, and I wouldn't go in there? You know what I mean? Like if it was already getting looted and people were freaking out and shooting each other in the streets, then I definitely
And
wouldn't go in there.
we just had a video about gas stations with Survival Dispatch on Survival Dispatch News.
Yeah.
And that really rang true with me because I know I've been in scenarios before where I have seen it happen very fast where people turn into like monsters. They'll use their vehicles as battering rams.
Yep.
They will lose their situational awareness in a situation like that as well. It's like the switch goes off, they're in full defense mechanism mode.
Yep.
There could be somebody punching the crap out of somebody right behind them and they literally are not aware that that's
Just don't even see it. You get your blinders on,
you know, going into their own little world.
Yeah, so depending on how people are reacting, that's how I would go about it.
Strategic avoidance.
Oh yeah.
That would be huge in my mind.
Yeah, avoid the problem because you can go a long time without food. You can go longer than you think without water. Most people would freak out as soon as they got a little bit thirsty, but you can go a little bit longer without water. I always, when I'm traveling to cities, I always carry my small little grail.
Yeah.
My small grail, not the big one, but the small one. I always carry that because that would be in my carry-on, so I could filter any of the water that I'd come across on my way.
Same exact.
With, I mean, obviously, if you got nuclear fallout and all that, we won't.
We're dead.
We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Yeah, we're going to be goners anyway.
It can't be that extreme.
Yeah, not quite that extreme yet.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I've got a way to filter my water on me because I'm smart.
Me too.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
And that's how I fly. That's how I flew. I did a video on that. What I carried on my plane. That's what I did. So I would carry that with me. I'd have water checked out. In pretty much any city, there's going to be fountains of some sort.
Yes.
Whether the electricity's working or not, there's
Even
going to be water.
Huge cities, Atlanta, LA,
Yep.
Chicago.
Yep.
There's still wooded areas.
Oh yeah.
Around. Like you just have to get out there and actually start looking for them.
Yep.
I think Tyler just talked about that in his bug out video in Utah.
Yeah, there's always going to be little pockets of vegetation and stuff like that, and there's going to be water sources and stuff. So.
Oh, another one I just thought of because in search and rescue, when I would go into like USAR mode, we would utilize the drainage pipes that run underneath huge buildings. You can literally stand up and walk through those. Really? And you can go for so long.
I would not think of that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a good call. You could cover some ground and be off the streets.
Now that took me a minute to think about, but I've actually gone on searches where I went through these tunnels because a lot of people traffic kids through tunnels like that.
Yeah.
Drugs, whatever it is that they're running, etc.
Now there might be Ninja Turtles down there though. So
might run into Michelangelo.
Yeah,
down
so
there.
you got to watch out for that.
Now that is another thing. You are taking a serious risk, and the whole idea here is risk versus reward.
Right.
Now, if everybody's freaking out up top, I would think you're going to run into homeless people in these tunnels because I have run into them before, especially like when I was in Atlanta. You also have to worry about the amount of water that's on the floor of these tunnels, right? Like you're not going to be like straight up hauling through these things because there is a certain amount of water there.
Is there a walkway, like a catwalk?
No.
It's just you're in the water.
No, really 5-6 foot pipes that run underneath like apartment complexes, for example, that take drainage away from cities.
Gotcha.
Like that.
Yeah.
So that is another opportunity. But bicycles laying around because in the city people use bicycles a lot. Yeah. Right. So you might actually
snag a bike.
Steal
a bike. Would you steal a bike in that situation? Would I?
I think it's dependent on the.
Yeah, it depends on how extreme the situation is. If my life depended on it. Shh. Oh.
Be gone.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
I got a loud truck.
How dare they like interfere with our video?
Yeah, my truck's super loud.
We're talking serious stuff here, trying to save lives.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah, my truck is really loud, but I try to be courteous. You know what I mean?
Right on.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
No respect.
What were we talking about?
We were in tunnels.
Stealing bikes.
Stealing bikes. Yeah. Would I steal a bike?
Steal stuff?
I think stealing is.
Is it relative?
Yeah, I think it might be. Like if your life depends on it and you can do the greater good by stealing something, maybe it's
the greater
justified.
Good for you.
Just for you though. But by you getting home to your family, potentially, you could save your family's lives, potentially. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. When you throw that into the mix, now
is it justified?
This is like Walking Dead stuff.
I don't know, man.
Right?
These are all things that we need to think about.
Oh God, I can't wait to see what the audience comes.
Yeah. So
in the comment section on this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, we can't listen to JJ and Jason anymore. The Jays are like
they're thieves,
evil.
They're looters, looters and polluters. Right. Anyway, so would I steal a bike? Maybe. Depending on the situation, because a bike is a game changer. I mean,
That would be huge.
You can cover some ground, especially on flat ground. Is Chicago flat? Yeah, Chicago's pretty flat.
Yeah.
It's pretty flat. But anyway, so you could cover some serious ground on a bicycle in a very short period of time, as
That
opposed
would
to
be
walking.
so awesome.
It's
if
not
you
even
did
close.
have that opportunity.
So yeah, you could get out of town in a hurry. We did that. We found a bike. We took a bike.
Okay.
Yeah,
Found the bike.
Here it is. Here it is. This will make it easier for our
Maybe
decision.
Castiel dropped the bike off. For
Maybe.
us.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah. I'm thinking one of the looters is in the building punching a
We
girl.
took his bike.
Yeah, punching a girl in the face.
Okay.
So you hit him with your brick and you take his bike.
And his 9
Of course.
that only goes sideways.
You can only shoot this. The sights have been moved to the
sights
side
have been
of the
moved to the
slide.
side.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And you got to throw the bullets out. Anyway, so that's what we've done. We've hijacked a bike from a looter, and we are pedaling our way in our suit out of town.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
Okay. So
Now what?
now we're in a suburban, like we're just outside.
We've gotten
of the
out of
city
the
limits.
heart of the city. We're approaching neighborhoods where
This
people
would
live.
have taken a little bit of time too.
I would say
to do
2
this.
hours has passed.
Okay. Yeah, that's acceptable to me as far as the scenario. We found the bike. Now we're pedaling.
Lights went out 2 hours ago.
Right.
Now what do we do?
Well, the good news is we are ahead of a major mass movement
The
towards
chaos curve.
The chaos curve, right? We're ahead of it.
We should make shirts that say "Get ahead of the chaos curve."
Ooh. That's our idea.
Don't you? I want.
We're
if
gonna
you-
make the millions.
If you take the idea, I want 10%.
10%.
10%.
And I want 9% just for being the agent.
All right.
All right, so we're in a suburban area.
Yeah.
Now, you also have to be very aware of the vigilante mentality that
I like how you
occurs.
say vigilante. You say vigilante.
Vigilante.
That sounds fancier.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start
so
saying that.
you got to be aware of that because all of a sudden the people that like watch our videos,
Yeah.
they've gone and they've gotten their muskets,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
They're probably patrolling, setting up their
Potentially.
all their prepper stuff
I
that's
think.
going on.
I think 2 hours in, people aren't there
Maybe
yet.
not in the city,
Even in the
that close to the city.
in the suburby areas, people aren't there yet. I don't think. Well, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think anyone's going to be that fast.
Because you
to
always got
react.
the neighborhood watch guy that has the whistle
right
around, in his little notebook
and a
or
notebook,
whatever, right?
flashlight.
The old hall monitor guy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. So I don't think people have gotten to that point yet. I think people 2 hours in are still at a point of like, what is going on?
Definitely.
Yeah,
But they're definitely out talking to neighbors.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
are wandering the streets.
Right.
I don't think that you're in as much danger as far as the looting mentality goes.
Yeah.
Once you've gotten to this point, I think now is the time to like try to pace yourself.
Right.
As well. Now we have our map, right?
Yeah.
So we potentially could have found a spot where we could have sat down and tried to get the shock off of us too.
Yeah.
Even though we're trained, we know what we're doing. You still got to take the time every now and then to sit
Rest.
back, rest.
Yeah.
Get your heart rate down so now you can think better.
Sure.
Right. We're eating our paydays.
Yeah.
And drinking our water. Trying
formulating
to rest
a plan.
We're formulating a plan at this
Yeah.
point.
Let's say you want to get home, but home is forever.
States away.
Well, long ways away,
Yeah.
right?
No, that
We
ain't
won't get
happening.
into that. That's a whole nother video. We won't
That's
get there
a
yet.
whole docu-series
Yeah.
right there. You could do a whole entire film
Yeah.
or a TV show off
Yeah.
of this.
I'm just trying to get back to home.
Yeah.
But let's
Jay's
say we're
trying to get home.
not there yet. We're thinking short term right now.
Short term right now.
Yeah, short term. We got out of the city. We're more in suburban areas, and when you're in the more suburban areas, there's going to be more vegetation. There's going to be woodland type areas, most likely in Chicago. So there's probably going to be places where I could tuck off out of sight, and I could make myself a little makeshift camp. Maybe I've gathered some supplies, such as like garbage bags, stuff like that, where I can rig
I
up a
just
shelter.
had a thought too. Since we're willing to steal bikes, that also brings up like older vehicles because we're on our way out of the city,
Yeah.
right? So we're passing like automotive shops
Right.
and stuff that aren't open because we're traveling at night,
Right.
So the shops aren't open. That's a perfect opportunity for you to grab a 1970 Chevrolet pickup truck,
Heck yeah.
hotwire that thing, and now
Again,
you've
you
got a
stole it
vehicle.
from a looter that was beating up a grandma.
A grandmother this time, yes.
Yeah, she was a grandmother. She was very elderly.
Yes, I agree.
And he was beating her.
right.
And you stole his car.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
After
Yeah.
giving the grandmother a drink of water, you nursed her back to health. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So now we're justifying.
That's how we're justifying.
We're justifying our stealing.
We are heroes, like Robin Hood.
Yeah. So now
scenario.
you've got this 1970s.
Maybe we're the Boondock Saints.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
We're the
Vigilantes.
Vigilantes.
Yes, vigilantes. Yeah. So we've justified stealing this 1970s truck that still works after the EMP.
I'm going to ask the audience: would you steal the truck?
Would you?
In this particular scenario, Grandma.
Yeah.
Is I want to
getting
know.
hit.
Get in the comments.
She's
Tell
getting
us.
punched
Would you
in the
steal
stomach.
the bike? Would you steal the car or the truck? Right. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to say, well, all the electronics went out. Well, we're talking about pre-computerized
No electronics.
vehicle, no electronics.
There's
right?
like 3 wires in these trucks.
Yeah.
Literally.
And you probably could find a coil
Yeah.
or a ballast resistor or whatever inside
Yeah.
of the shop anyway.
Right.
Right, because it's there for repairs maybe.
Yeah.
You also might potentially have a place to hide out at as well to rest up in a scenario like that, because there's going to be lots of supplies. There's probably going to be vending machines, maybe
Sure.
even fridges
Sure.
or whatever. Churches,
Yeah.
that's another option
Yep.
as well. Churches are typically open, have always been known in the past to shelter people.
Let people in,
times of
give them a
crisis
meal.
or need.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think then too, now we need to balance out, like, are we willing to talk to people? I think that would have to be based on observation of the environment that we were in.
I'd be very selective
Yes.
of the people I chose to talk to. I mean,
Strategic avoidance again.
oh, I would 100% be profiling everyone
Yes.
around me. If you got a face tattoo, nope. Sorry, guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a hike.
He's got a teardrop. I'm out.
Nope. Yeah, you got a face tattoo, you're off my list.
Right on.
Yeah, so I'm not talking to you. So I would be profiling people heavily in this situation, and I'd be looking for someone that I could potentially get some information from, and figure out what exactly might be going on.
Something that in my mind right now that I'm thinking is, in a scenario like that, minutes and hours count. Mm-hmm. And sure, we had our brick, but we used it. We discharged our brick in the city to steal our bike.
In the effort of saving the old lady. Yes.
I want a weapon.
Yeah.
Like a real bona fide weapon.
A real one.
So I guess the next question for me is, are you willing to loot something at this point? You go by let's say the pawn shop. Mm-hmm. Do you get a gun? Do you get the ammunition that you need at that point?
I mean, again, that would probably be a pretty dangerous place to go into.
It would be an extremely dangerous
That would
place.
be my guess. Those would
risk
be
reward.
Those would be some of the
it?
most dangerous places to be. And in my thoughts, just thinking out loud, probably not smart. And the risk does not.
What if it was a Walmart? Something that's
maybe.
open 24 hours, and they've got the shotguns and the shotgun
Maybe.
shells.
Yeah, maybe. But then and then we're going back. Is stealing okay? Yeah, I mean, potentially.
We've justified it because...
But Walmart, there's no little old lady in the Walmart.
There's little ladies at Walmart all the time.
They're everywhere.
They're wearing spandex.
All right, so there's another little old lady, and I've used the shotgun that I've gotten off the shelf and the shells to save the little old lady.
I love it.
And I'll take it with. And I'm taking the shotgun
Absolutely.
with me. I've earned the shotgun.
You have earned it.
I've earned
Correct.
it. Okay. All right, we'll go with that. So yeah,
That's going to be a high priority for me. That's really what's going through my mind is because if we did have to start a journey several states over, there's no way I'm taking that journey without a weapon.
Without some sort of weapon. At a minimum.
I'm not saying that I'm going in there charging at people. What
Right.
I'm saying is that you need it at a minimum for defense, because there are going to be places we're not going to be able to go through and be the gray man.
Yeah. Some people would say if you were carrying around a shotgun, that would make you a target.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're walking down the street in your business suit.
Ideally for me, I'm going to have a handgun.
Sure.
Right.
But yeah, the Walmart doesn't have those anymore.
You're absolutely right.
You can't get them. You can only get long
We
guns.
could do the Paul Blart, like we could have the illusion
Yes.
that I have a weapon.
Yes, you could.
Simply by my stance,
Yeah.
by my intonation, by my...
Yeah, I mean, ideally you'd have some sort of concealable firearm.
Yes.
That would be my ideal preference.
I
But in this situation, the chances of you being able to find that in short notice with the chaos that might be starting to
You
happen.
might be able to find one in
Maybe.
a glove box of a car somewhere.
Of that truck that you just robbed.
Yeah.
There's a 38.
It's a Smith & Wesson K-frame. Right?
Yes!
From 1982.
Yes! That's perfect. That's what I want. But we talked about this earlier. A walking stick. So if you were on foot, if I could find a stick, a stick is a very valuable and centuries-old proven weapon.
Absolutely, yes. The
It will jab people away from you, keep people at a distance. You can swing that thing like a club.
I want the staff of Moses.
Well, of course. I want like a snake.
I want the ultimate.
A snake head on top.
It can turn into a snake. You just throw it out of them.
Yeah, that's what I want. So yeah, arming yourself in some way, I think, is what we're getting at. That's an important one, so you can defend yourself against would-be attackers. Not looking like a threat and not looking like a target, I think, are both important things. So we've made our way out of the city. We're in suburbia. We've got some sort of weapon that we've defended ourselves with. We possibly have a bike, maybe even a vehicle.
A vehicle at this point.
In a vehicle, you're only going to go as far as you got gas.
Yep.
Finding gas in this situation, probably not going to happen. Maybe you could find some jerry cans, some gas cans.
You could source anything
in neighborhoods.
A shop, anywhere. Yeah, I can make that happen.
It'd be tougher.
I guarantee you I can make it.
It'd be tougher, but you could probably find
You're
some
going to be
gas.
huffing some gas, but I'm making it happen.
Yeah, get a mouthful.
Yeah.
A mouthful of gas, yeah. You could probably make that work.
I'm self-medicating while I'm on my
That's
journey.
right, yeah. Painkillers. So yeah, all right, so now we've made our way out of the city. We've found possibly a place to camp out, and we can further plan and figure out what our solution is. If I wasn't trying to go home, let's say this is where I'm gonna be. I've decided that.
Now, where was our destination in the city again? We were going to a meeting?
We were going to a meeting.
Okay, so we're not going to somebody's house or something like that.
No, you don't know anybody. No one really.
All right, so
Business
it's like a corporate thing. So I
Yeah.
don't have anybody in my vicinity either that I could seek out.
It'd be smart to.
I know it would be.
Yeah, it'd be
I just
really
wanted
smart
to bring up that
Yeah.
possibility.
If you had some sort of, here's another important one. So another smart thing to do is if you have a network of friends, and let's say you do have a friend in that city, know what his address is, have an actual map on that labels where his house is, like put a little heart around it.
Actual contingency plan.
Yeah, so you know how to get there, because just having an address, even if you memorized it, or if it's in your phone, like, it's going to do you no good. So you're not going to find it. So yeah, having a map, that would be a really, really smart idea of the area that you're going to. But yeah, if you could find a friend, that would be great. Super smart idea. And then you could get involved in some sort of community where you guys could make it work.
Yeah, I agree. And they may even have preps or
Maybe.
whatever. Because, I mean, if they're like-minded people in their community, then they're probably going to have the things. I mean, I know if you were in my area, I would do the same thing, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the whole point of when we did our rendezvous videos, right? Like, those are people and resources in your community that you need to have. Right.
Yeah.
So a little bit of pre-planning never hurt
It goes a long ways.
Yeah.
Love to hear what you guys think about this survival scenario. If you were in your suit on your way to a meeting, power goes out.
Go ahead and crucify us in the comment section, because we did this ad-lib, no script, no pre-planning whatsoever. Jason just turned on the camera and boom, away we went. We're criminals already.
We're already stealing and looting, and it's rough. So what would you guys do? I want to hear what you think in the comments. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Can't wait to see you on the next one.
See ya!